Hi Earthlings. Okay, I'm wearing lipstick. It's red for Christmas. And I think I like it. I've never worn red before in my life. Now, happy full moon in the zodiacal house of Gemini, everyone. This full moon outpour is going to be about our new beliefs about ourselves. And the old beliefs are going to disappear. Now, this video is actually all about the upcoming year of the wood snake starting on January the 27th, 2025. So, when the Sun conjuncts Pluto in Aquarius for the first time, that's when our soul's evolution is seen in physical reality. So on the 20th of January 2025, the Aries North Node is at its 0 point just before it goes into the house of Pisces, okay? So even though we've been living in our true self on the quiet kind of idea, now we're going to be like, we're going to step out and everyone's going to be like, whoosh. Okay, now the story this time is about the Ba clan. Here we go, it's down here. So there is a long written history of records tracing back to 700 BC during the Kai Ming dynasty of the Shu kingdom. Which is the spring and autumn period in China. So in 700 BC was the spring and autumn period in China, and they're written about an ancient culture which was a collaboration of a mixed group of people who, we could say a confederation, but they weren't big, okay? So they weren't big enough to kind of claim a massive sort of territory. They were a collective. Now, the Ba clans were highly diverse peoples composed of multiple tribes being pushed out during the ascendance of the Chu. And the Chu was like this quite a big state, and it was on its way, like the Qin and the Qin dynasty, and they push everyone else out. You either integrate, or they kill you, or you move on, okay? Now, it is written, the clans of Ba peoples did not yet have a leader. They worshipped spirits and gods. Together they made a pact. Whosoever could throw a dagger and have it lodge in a particular stone crevice high up on the cliff would become their chief. Of all the competitors, only the son of Wu Ziyang clan was able to achieve the target, and when he did so, all present sighed with admiration. Oh. Again, they made a competition, and each competitor was to make a boat, and he who could keep afloat on the rough waters would lead them. Again, the son of Wu Xian clan prevailed, while all the other boats sank, so they made him the leader, calling him Lord Lin. The white tiger became an important part of the Ba people mythology. According to the legend, Lord Lin died and White Tiger appeared. They believed that Lord Lin was transformed. The Ba people made boat-shaped coffin burials and developed writing systems that appear unrelated to Chinese characters. Now, they're in the province of Sichuan, and that province is very close to the desert area that I keep studying, and I just lost its name. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. think about it all the time. I've got a million photos. Anyway, aside, it's this massive desert area. The Gobi is in there, and this, it feels to me like something came in and landed, and it was just so forceful, and it pushed the curve of the Himalayas. You can see it, and you can see how the land fell this way, coming down into what is the Vietnamese lands, islands and things, lost and stuff. My tiger. Now the Ba people, in astronomy, Ba is represented by the star Epsilon Serpentis. An asterism, the right wall of the heavenly market enclosure, Tianxi. The heavenly market enclosure is a large constellation straddling the celestial equator. It has a nebula star nursery and contains the Pillars of Creation, one of my absolute favourites, and I'm going to be doing an incredible painting of that. The Pillars of Creation are 3 dust clouds that became famous for the image taken by the Hubble Space Telescope. The constellation that we call Serpens also contains Shiloh, the tower with the market office, and Laisi, the jewel shops. There are 11 cities in the right wall, and the Ba peoples is the 8th star. So the 8th star in the Serpens constellation that goes, it's actually divided in 2, but it goes like right through the Milky Way. So the Serpent constellation is the star-formed path for the celestials to lead mortal souls to the far shores, so saith. Now, I have meditated on and listened carefully, and our inner heart star, our star child, our living star that is in our heart for us who are with me on this journey, has the potential to become a star in the heavens. Okay, so it's a very, I can't put it into words quite yet properly, but I'm going to try. So I believe Venus is the mother of all our heart stars. Our heart is Venus. Venus is the mother of the star in our heart. Now, a lot of people go through their life and they do not live to their full potential. They get caught in the world, in the matrix, the 9 to 5, and all the narcissists and all the terrible things that are going on earth. Absolutely just downtrodden and sort of they get traumatized. Let's say we all do, and there's a part of people that do get traumatized and they can't make that level up. Okay, so there's no shade on them or in any way, shape or form, but the world is so cruel that some people just stop and they go into their cocoon state and they never come out. Okay, so apparently some of us come out of our cocoon state, and that is an incredibly amazing thing, because when we do come out, we're transformed. So post-traumatic growth, it's called, and it's a real thing, and it's absolutely incredible, and I am thankful to be one who was chosen to transform, because you don't do it alone. You need your God. I don't say mine is Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva came to me. I was lost in the void, and my life wasn't very good at the time, and it was almost a catatonic kind of a state, because just too much tragedy had just sort of like ripped my reality. And I could be sitting at the table, someone make me a cup of tea, and for me it seemed like perhaps a minute had gone by, but in reality it had been an hour. And I call it lost in the void. It was a very mysterious thing that happened to me. And what happened was, I was inside Lord Shiva's meditation, and he told me my spiritual name as well, and showed me why I am important to him. And I started to believe it. And then, I 100% believe it now, but at first I was like, who's Shiva? And I didn't know all these things. I'm a European person. And my spiritual name, I was like, I thought he was saying a drum, and oh my gosh, it's so funny. But anyway, I took it seriously, and I'm glad I did. I love experimenting, and it's worth it to always, when you get spiritual insights or things are offered to you, to experiment and see if it works for you. Now, so in the pillars of creation, it's incredible what I can see. So, what am I going to say about it though? So our mortal soul, the star-formed path for the celestials to lead the mortal souls to the far shores. So I always believe that my soul goes back to the sun, the source. I am a spark of the sun. That is my soul. And it comes through the sperm, and it makes the spinal cord. The sperm is the spinal cord of our body. But my soul returns to the blue sky of day in the rest period for the next reincarnation. I dream up my spirit. It all happens for my soul. The spirit is in the breath, and the first breath that the baby breathes in. And that's my strongest spirit that I created as a soul in the dream pond, which is the blue sky of day. Knowing the past experiences that I've been through, wanting to break karmic cycles, generational cycles, the things that I felt compelled to be reborn, incarnated to achieve in this lifetime. It's not fun when you get here, but when you're in the blue sky a day, you've got like a higher, perspective, and from that perspective you're like, I think I can nail it, I'm gonna try. So that's what happens. Now let us continue. The snake. So let's just carry on with the star-formed path for the celestials to lead the mortal souls to the far shores. There's only a certain amount of lifetimes that our DNA helix can actually form. So I worked it out once. I forget how many lifetimes it gives us. Woo! And I don't want to randomly say, because if I'm wrong, I might lead people astray. I'm not into that. But we get a certain amount of lifetimes, because there's only a certain amount of times that the DNA mixture of each generation for my soul, that I can actually inhabit a physical form. After that, the corruption is too much and I can't. So I've got to do it in the allocation that I have. Okay, so that's that. Now, the soul being mortal is after we have our last incarnation, the soul returns to the sun. It absorbs back into the sun. So when the sun is doing its flares, all those solar flares that are coming out, those are the birth of new souls, okay? Now, I want to continue. Snake, year of the snake next year, so back on focus. Snake represents passion, intelligence, determination, and strange hidden matters. So, I have here that in the year of the snake, we strengthen our spleen. To be able to digest large amounts of nutrition and use that energy for a long period of time. Through the power of a strong spleen energy, nutritious information is digested and properly applied. This is wisdom. Now, snake is all about wisdom, and so are we. In Chinese medicine, our heart is the emperor of the organs, and the spleen has the most yang active energy power. Spleen energy works hard at transforming the things that we take in, like food and information. And our spleen processes what we take in to make our qi, nourishment, to serve and provide nourishing energy to the other organs and those around them. So the other organs, internal, those around them, external. So we've got a lot of different chi going on. We've got our internal chi. We've got the chi that I can pull from the atmosphere. I can pull from heaven and I can pull from earth. So that's three kinds that I've got available. And I nourish my inner chi. My inner chi, I say chi, for the external and ki for the internal, because I just like to differentiate these things. But our inner is the key. And what we're doing with this internal nourishment through breath, work, and of course the 3 Dantian, which I've put in quite a lot of my videos, the upper Dantian, the middle Dantian, and the lower Dantian. It's all in the torso, the 3 Dantians, and they are like containers that we can put energy into. Now, where am I with this? Transforming. So we're going to go through, if you read the story or listen to the story again that I said of Bai Zhu Xian, she was she was a Naga. So she was like, she had a human body, a human torso, and then the snake lower part of her body with her legs were a snake tail, or inside the snake tail, because she was able to finally get it off. But yes, Bai Zhu Xian was very wise. She was a very wise snake. And she was in the Garden of Eden, but she wasn't evil. And I have the distinct feeling that the female made from the male Adam, from his blood and his bone, is the negative blood type, and was immortal, or had a prolonged life, could be killed, but perhaps she was immortal. Because a lot of them were, like the centaurs, had a prolonged life. They couldn't reproduce or anything like that. You didn't have centaur babies. You don't have mermaid babies either. All the chimeras that they created were one-offs. You couldn't reproduce. So, but you got to have an extended life, a very long life, if you were, say, like a centaur or the little pan creature, half goat, half man, and all the other little creatures that they mucked around with in the gene splicing center. Now, other things I found out about snakes. Graham Alexander from Wits University used infrared cameras to study the python. Mother python stays with her eggs coiling around their nests for up to 2 weeks after they hatch. Then the mother slides out into the sun and returns to transfer that heat to her babies. Mother python doesn't eat through this whole process of nurturing and raising her babies, a process that lasts longer than 6 months. The result is mother snake loses 40% of her body mass and can take up to 3 years for mother python to recover from giving herself to her babies. Sometimes she does not recover and dies. That is wow. So, snake is the great healer, strong within, effective in action, therefore great power. Advance in yang energy. Constancy is the achievement of perseverance on the path. Now, we advance our yang energy, that's our active, not yin receptive. We are in an active phase next year, so the time of 2025 is a year of being active. Now, it's active and yang energy to our body. The chi is what extends to others. So let us be wise next year and not overly extend, because as you can see in the world, the narcissists and the psychopaths have gone literally berserk and they are terrorizing everywhere. So keep yourself safe is the number one fact, because the only time that we can do this very important work that we're here to do, fellow earthlings, 100% DNA of earthling, is while we're embodied. That is why we are reincarnated. We have a mission and we do it while we're embodied. We can't do it when we're in the blue sky of day. And we can't do it when we're a spirit. Okay, so the only opportunity that we have got in this physical reality to manifest a physical energetic frequency that solidifies into 3D is while we're embodied in our physical form. Right, we advance with our yang energy, with strong, firm practice in the body, and with the mind firm and stable, with a far-reaching will. So we have been given a celestial opening next year, where in the year of the snake, where our intention can have a far-reaching consequence. I'll try that word, see if that's what it is. We observe all things with detachment. Now, remembering when we say detachment, we're meaning emotional detachment. It's not like we cut people off left, right, and center, send them into a freaking catatonic spiral and all this hoo-ha that narcissists love to do. What we actually detach from is the emotional energy directed at us to try and shatter us into a lower vibration, okay? So it's very masterful to be able to detach emotional energies, but everyone says don't take it personally, okay? So this is how we do it. We have our shields. Now I like to, and it works very well for me, and I think it's okay to teach you, and I don't think that it's the narcissists are going to be able to do anything about it. So what we do is we activate all our 7 mainframe chakras. You know, they've all got a color, and you put them into a spin like a gyroscope. You push and rotate physically. You grab it and rotate it. You move it and rotate it. You've got everything going in different directions, and you've got like this going on, okay? Now, if you've looked at those photographers who have taken photos of stars, and we see them up close and stuff, you will notice that they've got rings, and then they've got all this going on. And that is what you are to do. Exactly the same. Now, it's not shield of white light and all this sort of stuff. You make sure your chakras are rotating and gyrating like they do, and go full noise with that. Nothing can break that. So we do that. So, okay, so someone's going to emotionally confront us, and they're like, you know, what did you park your car there for? Blah, blah, blah. Let's say, and, you know, it's in the way of my life, and or whatever, you know, I'm just making it up. You're nothing but an idiot, all the things that they say, and they do that. Okay, so they've got like a little bit of a problem. Now, don't take it personally, because they're just like getting something out of them, directing it at whatever. Could have been a piece of wood in the way, and they would have done exactly the same thing. Fuck a piece of wood. You know what I'm saying? Gyrate your chakras. Get it in full swing when you step out of the house, and keep it that way. Now, if you ever feel that you're going to be, you know, someone's coming and they're going to attack you, there is another one that I just invented, and I'll share it with you, and that is you step inside an invisible cube, and on the outside of the cube it's all mirrors, so up above, all 4 sides, and below your feet. They mirror outward. So when that energy is coming directly towards you, you don't have to do anything. You just keep walking. It'll just reflect directly back at them, and they will be hit with their own energy. They will have to face their own energy without you don't even have to acknowledge them, okay? And that works. I got a few. So, but try those 2. That's a good start. Things are going to go down, all right? So observe things with detachment. Transcend the ordinary. I just gave you 2 ways of doing it. Decide what to let go of and what to take up, like the moment of thunder rising from earth to sky to startle the ignorant and amaze the worldly. Shake them all up. So next year is obviously slightly dramatic. Everyone's scared of a snake for a start. They're going to be like, snake. But snakes themselves are scared of people, and they're like, oh my god, people, and they try their best to get away from people. They don't want to come along and attack you. It's not a tiger. Okay. They only get really scared if you stand on them, and even then they don't attack you. My son accidentally stood on a snake, and that snake bolted it and tried its best to get the heck out. And they don't like loud noises. As soon as you like stomp your feet through the forest and stuff like that, snake gone. Even if he's sunbathing on a rock. So you don't really see them a lot, okay? Plus, they don't like people. Now, but you're allowed to shake people up next year. Now, that is not with your anger. That is with the two things that I just gave you. Please practice them. And why not do an experiment and see if it works? Just try it. Now, this is kind of for myself, but I know other people have been through the experience, so I add. Do not cling to the void or stick to 3D forms. That means try to ground yourself. Don't stay living in the ethers while you're in your body. Try not to leave your body. There's no such thing as astral traveling. It's just spiritual traveling. So the astral traveling happens way later. Don't happen while you're like meditating or whatever. All this astral stuff is just not real. But what is real is your spirit does, your consciousness does leave your body, and you can go on a little journey and stuff like that. It does in the dream when we're dreaming as well. And our consciousness, our spirit, is still attached by the cord to the umbilical system. It's got a silver cord. It's attached to our liver. So live, and that's the abode of our spirit. And that's why we're not drinking any alcohol next year, because our spirit doesn't want to be separated from our body. Okay, so I'm trying to tell you something, and please understand. Now, do not cling to the void or stick to 3D forms. Right, so that's your house, that's your car, that's your, your favourite pen, your lipstick, your glasses, all that sort of stuff like that. Do not cling to 3D forms. You don't know what's going to happen next year. There's a lot of stuff going on. They're going to try and start AI reality, all right? So you will own nothing and you'll be happy, all that sort of stuff they're trying to start up. But so try not to cling. So if you do move and you lose your, favorite guitar, always be respectful to the energies of the cosmos, the universe, and know that there was a reason. It was a good reason. Maybe you don't know the reason. Maybe you'll never know the reason. Could have been to benefit somebody else, or it might have been because you were supposed to go or in a different direction. And these things, there's always a reason. Now, do not fear danger. I think I've already explained to you. Have inner autonomy and self-control so that your path of great power is correct and reasonably ordered. Firm and stable, unmoved by 10,000 things. Make your movements effective and decisive, able to accomplish the task, cultivating inner and outer at once, vigorous and powerful. Correct yourself and establish your virtue. By Su Jian, she meditated for 1,000 years on her virtue. She was a virtuous Naga. Establish your virtue. This corrects your great power, and this is your greatest achievement for your year of the wood snake. Continuing on the way of the fragrant wind. And how poetically in tune it is with the Virgo Pisces eclipse season, where we're learning everything about our essence, and our senses and the fragrance of us. And flavor, I think, was in there too. Now, the fragrant wind. Continue on the way of the fragrant wind, progress beyond obstacles to the way. Step by step with flexible obedience and awareness of breath, true breath, purposeful inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation is inspiration. Exhalation is expiration. Focus on the mind until the breath becomes oneness, opening and closing. That's a small paragraph of power. Breathing in and out is the door of the mysterious temple. Remember, our spirit is our breath. Once we stop breathing, spirit goes to the spiritual realm. Breathing in and out is the door of the mysterious female, the root of heaven and earth, the pulse of life, the movement of energy, the stillness of spirit. The dragon subdues chaos. The snake bestows vitality upon the earth, restoring life. So we're still in the year of the dragon. We're in the final of the 6 stages of the year of the dragon. And we're in this humble stage where we say, well, there's no way I could have come through all that by myself. It was Lord Shiva for me who did that for me. And of course, sometimes I couldn't even make a step. So Jesus had to actually lift my foot off the ground and make, come on, you can take that step. And they both worked very hard. Now the dragon subdues chaos, and that is the year that we've just been in. The subduing of chaos. And that is when we built our dam, our reservoir. And also because of the 2 full moons in Capricorn and through the year of the dragon, we also created our fortress, our castle on our plateau. There was another special word for that. Our citadel. Not sure. Oh, that reminds me of something that was something like the light on the citadel, which I think is now our time to switch light on. Start using your heart chakra's light. You don't rush in and touch everybody because you don't need to. Let your heart do its job. Okay, so wood snake. When one's own day comes, we must start our revolution, and we are believed. It's going to start pretty soon, okay? So starting in January kind of idea. Persevere and further yourself, thus remorse disappears. Starting brings good fortune with no blame. Old views are shed off as a snake sheds off its old skin. A time of great change, clarity about relationships, and deepest self-authority. No longer constricted, the old skin falls away and we are seen anew. The parasites remain with the old skin and we emerge healthier and refreshed. We have grown and the illusion of what we were is separated from our being and cast off. So the Aries part of the eclipse cycle was, I know it's about our identity, and I thought it was about, our physical identity, the id, the mind, the ego. I thought it was all about this, and it is kind of idea. But when it came to near the end of the cycle, it was actually about my true self coming out, which was unexpected. But that is, I guess, the shedding of the old imago, the ego, the limited mindset that was once there, opening into a higher self and a truer self. providing me with this new mindset and belief system. That's all occurred. Okay, so what have we got? In 2025, we have the 2 new moons in Virgo. So 2025 is 2 new moons in Virgo. That's a time of concentration. In Virgo is the field. So the field is where all the flowers are and everything like that. That is where all our perfumes and our fragrances and our essence. So in the time of new moon is the concentration, and we're going to be concentrating on our essence, a spiritual essence. And then also the zodiacal house of Pisces is all about our spiritual self, I guess. So and I think I've done all that. Now the last thing I want to say for this is about the Barb culture that I told about in the beginning of this video, and of Suqian. Now, during the building of the Three Gorges Dam in China, a small village was built on a mound. Because it was being excavated, the dozens of householders had to move. As the diggers dug into the mound, they unearthed a large amount of bronze and jade from the Bar culture. The findings are unparalleled in the Three Gorges Reservoir. That's a dam, guys. See how everything's linking up? Area in quality, diversity, and the amount. Interesting. Archaeologists came to the site in between 1972 and 1993. That's quite an extensive period. 70, 80, 90, that's a 30-year period. 31. 4 major salvage operations were conducted from 9 major shaft tombs. So, insane. It's like the shaft, the big mound, the shaft, and then to the sides are all these different corridors that take you into all these different areas, and in those areas all these different coffins and stuff were there. So what do we have here? Things that I did find: a set of 14-piece chime bells, jade swords, high-class bronzes inlaid with silver filigree. How precious. The patterns of the Bar people were the tiger, the clouds, boats, and fish. There was a vessel with duck web feet and bird's wings. Most of the feathers had fallen, but the masterful workmanship is clearly visible. The bird's body was covered in finely polished, fingernail-sized turquoises. There's only one area in the world where those turquoises come from, and that was what we call Afghanistan. So there was obviously trade going over the Himalayas. Now there was a total of 30,000 square meters of land was unearthed from these 9 major tombs. That is vast. And that is all the information that I have on the Bar people, and the Year of the Snake. And the most major find for me is the constellation of Serpens, which is the biggest. You should look it up, have a look, and how they had their own kind of like stuff going on up there. What did we have? We had, let's see, what did we have? We had the right wall of heavenly market enclosure, Tianchi. We had the heavenly market enclosure, large constellation straddling the celestial equator. And then the pillars of creation are in there. And then the constellation that we call Serpent, also contains Shiloh, the tower with the market office, and Lyci, the jewel shops. There's like a market in the stars. Star people have markets. There are 11 cities in the right wall, and the bar peoples is the 8th star. This is just, it's what dreams are made of, isn't it? Okay, so I am so happy, and it's going to be a year